Hey guys, so today I downloaded all the lists of beyond the top 1,000 from the Social Security site with the baby names. And so the first one I decided to look at was the one from 1989, which is the year I was born in. So I went through and I looked through all the names that only 5 people were named these names. So I'm going to start with the good names. And I only did the girl names, and I'll do the boys later. Okay, so the first name I wrote down was Amory, and this is a really cute name, and it means little love in Old French, so I thought that was pretty. The next one is Bet, which isn't really a favorite name, but it's a nice name, and I think it's pretty. I would prefer it as a nickname for Elizabeth or something. But it's a Hebrew name originally that means God is perfection, and it's used in French and English. And obviously the most famous Bet is Bette Midler. The next one is Calais, which I think is a very pretty name, and it looks super French. And when I looked it up, it actually means from the city in France. So I thought that was a cute name, and it's also linked to the name Kaylee, which is so popular now. And the next one is Clark, which I actually really prefer for a boy's name. I mean, it is a boy's name. I couldn't even find it listed as a girl's name. But I think it's cute, and I think it might be okay on a girl. I wouldn't use it because I'm not into unisex names, but I think it's cute. The next one is Elodie. And I've heard a lot of talk of Elodie lately. I thought for sure it had to be in the top 1,000, but it's not. I was shocked. The last time it was on the charts was in 1886 at number 790. So, if you guys like the name Elodie, start using it because I think it's a beautiful name. And I've seen tons of people asking questions at babynames.com or Chi-Chi. So anyway, if you like Elodie, you should use it. I think it's a beautiful name, and you could use Elle or Ellie for the nickname, and it's just super cute. And I think it should be more popular than it is. The next name I wrote down was Ellery, which I think sounds very pretty. And again, you could use the nicknames Elle or Ellie. And this is the spelling that it was on the list that those 5 girls were named. And then with the E-R-I is the more standard spelling, which, although the meaning of it's not very nice, it means enough. Maybe if this was going to be your last kid, I don't know. Kind of a weird meaning for your kid's name, but if you don't care about meanings, it's a really pretty sounding name. The next one is Evaline, which is a personal favorite of mine, and I had found this in my family tree, only spelt with an E in the place of the A, and I think it's a beautiful name. It means alive in Hebrew, or it also comes from Old French, in Old French it means juniper tree. The next one is Gem, which I don't really like on its own very much, but I love the name Gemma. It also could be short for Gemini, and gem means either precious stone in Italian, or it can mean twins, which comes obviously from Gemini. The next name is Laurette, which is a diminutive form of Laura, very commonly used in French. My landlady in France, her daughter's name was Laura, and she went by Laurette, so I thought that was a cute name. And it means laurel or bay, just like Laura. The next one is Lucilla, and Lucille is a name that I really like, and it was the name of my great-grandmother. Lucilla means born at daybreak, which I think is such a beautiful meaning, and it's very specific to a baby name. Born at daybreak. So if you had a baby born at daybreak, it might be a cool name to use. The next name that I thought was really cool is Maple. And normally I don't like word names very much, but Maple is really cool sounding, a naturey name that's not very common. And it just means the tree, the maple tree. It also, I think it sounds more acceptable as a name because it's similar sounding to Mabel, which is an old name, but it sounds like a fresher version. So yeah, I think Maple is super cute, maybe as a middle name if you aren't bold enough to use it as a first name, but I think it's really adorable. You know, you could use like May for a nickname. The next name I wrote down, this is a cool one to see. This is from 1989. In 1989, there were 5 baby girls born named Miley. And if you look at this name now, you think, wow, only 5. That is like nothing compared to the popularity of Miley now. Miley exploded in 2007 with, of course, with Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus getting super famous. So Miley actually means in Hebrew, who is like me. And it came onto the charts so suddenly as number 279 in 2007. And then it had peaked at number 128 in 2008. So it just went from out of nowhere all of a sudden. It's so crazy how celebrity names can influence like that. And then in 2011, it was going down a little bit to number 316. So I think Miley is really a cute name. It's definitely going to make anybody think of Miley Cyrus. And that's one thing about people who named their daughters Miley in 2007. Back then, Miley was, just a cutesy Disney star. But now, she's growing up and you never know what she's going to do. So I don't know if I'd want to name my daughter after someone who is just getting on the scene and, so young, could do anything. But anyway, I think Miley is a super cute name. The next 2 names I thought would be really cool for boys, but they were on the girls' list, as 5 girls were named these. The first one is Rhode, and this actually is only listed as a girl's name, but I think it would sound cooler on a boy. But it comes from mythology. Rhode was the oldest daughter of Oceanus and the wife of Helios in Old Greek mythology. So I think it's a cute name. I don't know. I think it's better on a boy, but I guess it's not supposed to be for boys, but who cares? I don't think anyone would really know who she was unless they were like a mythology scholar. And the next one also that I thought would be cute on a boy is Royce, and actually found that Royce is more common for boys, and it means the king's child. Right, so now let's move on to the more fun part of the video, which is the worst names that were on this list. 5 baby girls actually had these names in 1989. So there are 5 women walking around age 22 or 23 who are called these, and I feel so bad for most of them. The first one is Agigail. I don't even know how you're supposed to say that. Looks like someone just misspelled Abigail, but yeah, Agigail. Not sure how you can say that, but it's horrible. So next one is just Asian, which, I don't know if the parents of these little girls were Asian, if she was an Asian baby. It just seems weird. I do know a girl named Asia, but I think that's totally different and way better than Asian. I don't know. It's like if I had a baby, should I name her Caucasian? It's just weird. The next one is BJ, just like this. BJ, lowercase j, BJ. First of all, it reminds me of blowjob. Second of all, people were named BJ, like boys back in the day. Like, there was a dinosaur named BJ on Barney. I don't know, but that's a horrible name. The next name, I don't even really know how you would pronounce this, but it's Btittany. Like, someone just accidentally had a typo when they were putting this in the database or something. Btittany. The next one is Cetera, like etc. I don't know why you would name your kid that. The next one, I can't believe people actually named their kid this, ridiculous. Cinderella. 5 baby girls were named Cinderella in 1989. The next one is Consepcion, which is a misspelling of the word Concepcion in Spanish, which means conception. And I was really surprised that this is actually a name, and in 1929 it was number 722, although that's the most popular it's ever been, and it's not on the charts now. But conception, why would you name your kid Conception? You might as well name your kid Sex. That's just weird. Everyone knows you conceived, you have a baby. Don't get it. The next name is Crescent, like a crescent moon, crescent roll. Weird. Next one is Crickett. I don't know why you'd want your daughter to be named after an annoying bug. The next one, I just thought that was kind of funny because I can't imagine today being named this at 23 years old. Cullen. What a cool name that I would love to have. Not that these parents were totally misguided when they named their kid this, Because they didn't know Twilight was going to come out 23 years later and, like, make her daughter's life horrible. I mean, Cullen sounds okay. It's kind of weird, but it's not, like, awful. But it would suck to be named it now. Next one is Disney. Just kind of cheesy. Like, why would you name a kid Disney? Next one is Empress, or we have the Spanish version, Emperatriz. Why? Just tacky to name your kid Empress. Next one is Gal. What, you couldn't think of a name, so you just called her Gal? I don't know. The next one is G. How do you say that? Anyway, it's horrible. Like, stupid. The next one is Gussie. This just sounds like such a stupid name to me. I don't know. I don't like the sound of it. I don't like the name Gus. So Gussie. I did look it up and found that it's short for Augusta or Augustina. Augustine. I mean, if you want to call her Gussie, name her Augustine or whatever and call her Gussie. I mean, Gussie sounds so stupid on its own. I mean, it's stupid as a nickname, but if you want to nickname her that, go for it. The next one is Shady, which I don't know about you guys, but it just reminds me of Hades, like, you know, the Lord of the Underworld. Not a good choice. The next one, I don't understand why anyone would ever name this kid if you, like, live in modern times and whatever. Jezebel. I mean, I don't know what you guys think of when you hear the name Jezebel, but I think of a slut. Like, promiscuity, like, that's what I think of. And I looked up, if you look up Jezebel at dictionary.com, one definition is that she was, like, an ancient queen, and the other definition is a wicked, shameless woman. Yeah, that's what I want my daughter to be known as. The next one is Cather. I'm not sure how you say this, but it just sounds so weird. Okay, then we have a group of names. Apparently, you know, if you want to make the name original or creative, you can just add la to the beginning of it. So we have La Jasmine, La Joyce, La Barbara, La Brenda. Okay, first of all, the only good name out of there on its own is Jasmine. I mean, Jasmine's a pretty name, but like Joyce is alright. It's kind of old. I mean, Barbara and Brenda are just horrible, so like they're still horrible with a la in front of them. They're even more horrible. And then here's the best one of all, La Princess. Yeah, good names, good naming there. You guys are so creative. Next one, 5 baby girls were named Little. Yes, they were little when they were born, but they're not little now. So can you imagine meeting people like, hi, nice to meet you, I'm Little Jones. Like, cool. Next name is just Mick, MC, Mick, Mac, Mick. The next name, why would you name this? Although on second thought, kind of makes sense. Pagan. Now, at first I was like, wow, who the heck would name their kid Pagan? Then I thought, well, people name their kid Christian, and no one thinks that's horrible. So, I mean, I guess if you were a pagan, why shouldn't you be able to name your kid Pagan? It's just not, like, totally accepted by society is the thing, but, like, also, okay, so if you look up pagan in the dictionary, you know, there's various definitions. Polytheist is a definition, non-believer is another definition, and then one definition is a person deemed savage or uncivilized and morally deficient. That's how I want my child to be perceived. Plus, the same problem I have with Christian. What if your kid doesn't grow up to have the same religious beliefs as you? Then they have a name that labels them as something they're not. So, no. The next name is Pansy. Pansy's a cute sounding name, but I mean, Pansy means like a wimp, so don't name your kid Pansy. Okay, she's already going to be thought of as a wimp for being a girl, because that's how society is. So, like, don't name her Pansy. Name your dog Pansy or something. That's stupid. Next name is Pepsi. Really? The next name is Shady, and maybe in 1989, Shady just meant like under the trees, shady. But now shady means sketchy, like, and I looked it up, and one of the definitions of shady is of dubious character. The next one is Swayze. Yeah. I mean, 1987, Dirty Dancing came out, so I can kind of see why people thought that was a cool name, but, like, maybe for a boy. But for a girl, it's just weird. I mean, for anyone, it's weird. But, like, if you're going to name your kid Swayze, name your boy Swayze. Because, I mean, Patrick Swayze is a man. I don't know. Okay, the next one, I think this is possibly the worst on the list, is Vijaya. Vijaya. Even if it's Vijaya, it sounds like vagina. Like, I don't know. That's just awful. And then the next one is Virgen, which means virgin in Spanish. Like, I understand it's probably, like, a religious name and stuff, but why would you, like, literally name your kid Virgin? That's just mean. Like, that's just saying, I want you to get made fun of in high school. Those are the cutest and craziest names from 1989 that 5 girls were named, each one of these names. So, do you guys like the names I put on my like list? Do you like any of the names I put on my hate list? Thanks for watching.